Hi, so I've decided to add a little video about what happened during the roller coaster of my losing my faith, more like my faith being completely shattered. My previous videos were, kind of the facts that led up to me losing my faith, and my subsequent search led me to complete shatter. Um, One of the things that I am trying to share, pay it forward, I guess is a good phrase, but there were so many people out there that had, told their story and talk about these things, and I found it very helpful, and so I just kind of want to share that as well. There are a lot of YouTubers and message boards and other posters who talk a lot about how our identity is tied into this religion, and that is absolutely true. And hearing that was extremely helpful to get me to start letting go. I still use, the we's, the us, our, it's our Bible, our beliefs, and I'm really working to separate that because it's not ours anymore. It's theirs, and it's not mine anymore. But I still catch myself doing that. So it'll take a while, I guess. Uh, I was never baptized, and I'm sure that there's some of you that, don't think that it matters that I was never baptized, that I can't possibly feel the way others feel. But I'm telling you, my not being baptized did not change anything. One of the reasons that I did not get baptized was at 14 I was really being pushed. Everybody else was getting baptized, and my younger siblings were getting baptized, and there was a lot of pressure to get baptized. And I actually started the process, the questions. But I realized I was getting baptized for the wrong reasons. I was about to dedicate my life to Jehovah, and I wasn't ready to dedicate my life to Jehovah. And it wasn't due to a lack of faith. It's just that if I were going to do that, there was a serious commitment. I did not take that decision lightly. And if I wasn't going to do it at a full 100%, I shouldn't be doing it. And, so I stopped the questions and I pulled away. So it was never, lack of loving Jehovah. It was really because I loved Jehovah and I wanted to do it right. Over the next few years, things were hard. I did get treated badly. My family started to pull away, and I can say that there was a little bit of selfish motives for why I kind of started pulling away. My feelings were really hurt. I mean, I was really treated very rough, and my feelings were a little hurt. My pride was a little bruised, and I did pull away. I ended up going down the wrong path, and I don't blame anybody else for that. That was my choice, but I never stopped believing. And it's so funny. I heard on a talk once from the platform when I was a teenager, talking to parents about how to raise teenagers, and he described, and I've never forgot it. It was just a really great little analogy, but he described raising teenagers as a spring, and that young children, we need to be held on really tight because we can't cross the street on our own and stuff like that. But as we get older, that spring needs to be let go gradually. Otherwise, if we just let go one day when they're an adult, they just go all over the place. Well, that's really what happened when I left in my 20s. I turned out to be that spring. I just went bananas. And like I'm finding out a lot of us do, especially if we leave when we're young, is, we really don't know how to do anything. We don't really know how to talk to people. We really don't know how to trust people. I mean, they're all worldly people, so it's really tough. Our gauge is off on how to deal with relationships. So there's a lot of difficulty with trying to interact with people, and even just talking to people. There's a different language. I would drop words, and they're like, what the heck are you talking about? And so there was an adjustment reaction going on, and I did go bananas, and my life pretty much went straight downhill into the toilet. And in my 20s was where I kind of reclaimed my life and pulled back up and ended up getting back on track as far as having a normal, healthy life. And but even though I was inactive for most of my life and I was never baptized, I absolutely 100% believed it was the truth. I knew I was going to die in Armageddon. That's why I partied the way I did. Was I knew, if I'm going to die, I'm going out in a party kind of thing. I'm going out in a blackout or whatever I need to do to just sleep through the thing. And so it was, it was a struggle. And I, even as an adult, once I pulled out of that, I still, struggled with a lot of the, Armageddon's close, and, I better get off the fence here soon. And, but it was the same thing about my baptism. If I was going to go back, I was going to go back all the way. I wasn't going to do anything. I wasn't going to do it half-assed, because it was like, what's the point? And, Jehovah would know. And what's the point? It would just be going through the motions, and it wouldn't do me any good anyway. If I wasn't serious, it was useless. So I always believed it was the truth. I always believed I was going to die in Armageddon. And I was always kind of hopeful that I would make my way back before Armageddon struck. And, there were times where, severe thunderstorms, one of those big ones that would rattle the windows, I would be like, oh my God, this is it. And a lot of fear that went on through the years. Even though I was away, it was a lot of fear. But I was always a defender of the faith. I was never ashamed of being a witness. I wore it proudly, and I was always sticking up for the witnesses. If they were being bashed, I was quick to defend them. If people were curious and had questions, I was happy to answer them. I encouraged people to talk to the witnesses when they came to the door, to study with them, to read the literature, you name it. I was a big cheerleader for the witnesses. Grew up without celebrating the holidays, and that was never an issue for me. I really was not one of those kids. I could really, I didn't sit there and wallow that, oh, poor me, I'm not getting to celebrate Christmas. It was never an issue. And even now, the holidays, I can take them or leave them. It's just really, really not a big deal. So that even wasn't an issue. My medical record says, no blood. And, I've never gotten a tattoo. I've never voted. There was all these little things where if I didn't cross those lines, that I could come back. I'd still be safe to come back. Because I knew one day I would go back, and hopefully it'd be in time.